Thanks, Matt. I'll be brief. And the Gulf South Conference presidents for the continuing opportunity to manage their investment portfolio. And while Raymond James is to always exceed our expectations regarding our performance. And it makes me think of these young student athletes because they do the same thing each year in their particular sport. So with that being said, Raymond James would like very much going forward to have the opportunity to expand our relationship. We'd love to work with each university of the conference, potentially look at their endowments, and we believe our company has the expertise to offer substantial value to do that. I really want to thank Matt and his staff. Andrea, Mike, and Michael really make our job easy at Raymond James, and we're continuing to expand our branding relationship with the conference. We're the proud partner we're the official financial planning partner of the Gulf South Conference. And as Matt said, we're the primary title sponsor for the Gulf South Conference Champions Club. And finally, we were the presenting sponsor of this year's Gulf South Conference Annual Awards Banquet reception. We want to keep that growing. So to all of the student athletes here tonight, congratulations, and we wish you continued success and encourage you to keep working hard. Thank you.
Many of you are beginning to hear the name Fire Seeds a lot in the region and across the nation, and they were some of the first folks that I got a chance to meet when I moved to Birmingham, and they've been a great resource for our staff and trying to figure out how we best work together and providing leadership opportunities. And when we approached them about sponsoring our annual awards banquet and our academic awards, they were really, really excited. And I think last year's top 10 received some great benefit from those folks. And again, this year, our top 10 will receive some benefit from the Fire Seeds relationship. So I'm proud to be partnered with them, and I'm going to welcome Vice President of Operations Justin Harris up for a minute to tell us a little bit more about Fire Seeds and share his words.
As well, and to be a sponsor tonight. So thank you, Matt. I thought it was really interesting when Matt, when we sat down together, gosh, I guess a couple of years ago now, to talk about what could a partnership look like between you can see up here, it says multiplying leaders. The heart of what we do as an organization is help companies think about how to multiply their leadership. Typically, companies do a very good job of scaling sales systems and operational systems, but our heartbeat is to say, how can we come in and help you develop a culture of leaders? And so whenever we thought about sitting down with and partnering with the Gulf South Conference, it just was really a no-brainer for us. Because what we know, especially when it comes to athletics, is that there are things, leadership skills, leadership characteristics that are forged while you're playing athletics that I think don't happen anywhere else. I was a college athlete. My wife was a college athlete. The Gulf South Conference is very near and dear to our heart. She was actually a graduate assistant at the University of North Alabama. We have multiple hires that have come within our organization from the Gulf South Conference. Most recently, a hire from West Georgia about, maybe 5 months ago. Josh just joined our staff to help us. So for us, again, just really an honor to be a part of this. And I'm really excited for each of the nominees for this year, the athletes that are here. We're very excited to partner with them, especially the ones that win. We have got a really neat opportunity. We're gonna walk with them and let them work through with us what's called a leadership behavior DNA. We're gonna help them really understand how they're wired, how they're made, how can we best help them maximize their leadership skills. So that's a really neat thing that we're going to be able to do. And I'm also super excited to talk to just the presidents tomorrow about some partnerships that we've got with some really amazing companies that I think are going to give some Gulf South Conference athletes some really neat opportunities over the next 3 to 5 years. So that's for us is super excited because we help companies find great leaders. and then we also help them develop them as well. So again, it's just an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Matt. I just think his innovative thinking, just to partner with us and the way he wants to utilize that, I think is pretty special, and I think is very forward thinking. As we've engaged lots of folks, lots of businesses. So thanks so much, Matt, and just an honor to be here.
Well, I appreciate those kind words from everybody. It's all elevator speech, I'm sure. Compete, graduate, impact. You may have heard it 1,000, 2,000 times. I don't know. I guess that's a good sign. If you've heard it too many times, that maybe you know something. Let's show you what compete, graduate, impact means to the Gulf South Conference.
Institutions, 17 sports, 50 national championships, thousands of lives changed. For nearly 50 years, the Gulf South Conference has been a leader in the NCAA. A founding member of Division II, the GSC embodies the philosophy of Division II by providing a high-quality athletics program with an emphasis on academic success and student-athlete experience within the educational mission of the institution. In the GSC, that means compete, graduate, impact. Compete. 10 GSC members placed at least one program to NCAA championship play, highlighted by North Alabama softball winning its first NCAA national championship. West Georgia football advancing to the national semifinals, and Shorter's Elfridge Chalanga becoming the GSC's first ever NCAA cross-country champion. Graduate. GSC student athletes consistently graduate at a higher percentage than the general student population, and this year was no different, as more than 550 GSC student athletes earned diplomas, while over 200 student athletes were named to the Fire Seeds All-Academic Team. Impact. GSC member institutions participate in a variety of community service and community engagement projects, putting countless hours into service. Most notably, Lee won the NCAA Division II Award of Excellence for its Volley for a Cure event, while Delta State and Union each earned the opportunity to grant a wish through the NCAA's partnership with Make-A-Wish after their student athletes raised thousands of dollars. At the VisitSpaceCoast.com basketball championship, the GSC raised enough money for Neverthirst to complete a well project, bringing clean water to a remote area of India. Additionally, the GSC crowned champions in 17 sports this year. Congratulations to everyone who joined this year's GSC Champions Club, presented by Raymond James.
On our campus. I'm really proud of our student athletes and our institutions and the administrative staff that makes that happen. So if you'll allow me to pray for our meal, and then we'll get started having a little dinner. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for a place like this that we can gather with friends and colleagues, God. Thank you for the heart that you've put in these folks to make a difference for their teammates, for their student athletes, for their coworkers, God. Thank you for the divine appointments that you schedule between administrators and coaches and student athletes and community leaders and me with these folks, Lord. I just thank you so much. Thank you for the food. I hope that you bless it, help it nourish the body, and take good care of us as we depart from here. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen. And we'll eat dinner and then resume. Hope you enjoyed the meal, and I know some of you may have some food still in front of you, some dessert, so please feel free to go ahead and continue eating that. I know our wait staff is taking great care of us tonight, and will continue to do so. So join me in a quick round of applause for our wait staff that's helped us out this evening. You know, in this very room last night, we got the opportunity to look back at some Gulf South Conference history and acknowledge the third induction class in the Gulf South Conference Hall of Fame. And we're really, really lucky tonight, and I'm honored that a couple got to stick around and give us a chance to recognize them one more time in front of this crowd tonight. So I'm just going to ask them to stand where they're at. But from the University of West Georgia, Dr. Valissa Levitt was a member of our Hall of Fame class from last night. And from the University of North Alabama, Cody Gross. I appreciate you all staying around and enjoying and celebrating tonight with these student athletes this evening. To get us going this evening, I want to first hand out a lot of trophies, but we're going to hand out 3 in one. He might have been a little bitter. I can't tell exactly 100%, but he might have been a little bitter. But tonight, we're going to have one institution pick up the overall All-Sports Championship Trophy, the Men's All-Sports Championship Trophy, and the Women's All-Sports Championship Trophy. They become the first school ever to win all 3 trophies in the same year, and this is the 3rd consecutive year they've won the overall All-Sports Trophy. And this is the 11th straight Women's All-Sports Trophy and 6th all-time Men's All-Sports Trophy. Is that right? I think I got that right, Mike? Good. Really brought it home in the spring, winning men's tennis and men's and women's golf titles. They also added regular season titles in volleyball, baseball, men's tennis, and women's tennis, and placed 8 teams in GSC postseason fields. So congratulations to the University of West Florida, our all-sports champions.
Let everybody know what a pleasure University of West Florida Gulf South Athletics has been to me as a president.
Especially Coach Hall for all he's done for me, not only for me personally, but our football program as a whole. What shows what a tremendous coach he is. I'd like to thank my family and all the love and support they've given me. I could hear my mom screaming from the press box sometimes even. So that's, what a tremendous honor it was to play in the GSC, the best conference in D2 for 4 years. It's something I'll always cherish. Thankful for all the life lessons, the friendships, and the memories the game has brought to me. One time, some ugly old man over there sitting at that table said, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And I've always tried to apply that to my life, whether it's the fourth quarter or in the classroom or whatever the situation may be. So, let's see here. Also like to say good luck to all the candidates and go Wolves.
Next up, shifting back to our ladies recipients, I want to invite the Delta State University head softball coach, Casey Charles, up to tell you a little bit about Cassidy Talley.
Good evening. What an honor it is to be here. You'll hear that a lot tonight. It's such a great event. Thankful to be a part of it, my family and Delta State family. And on behalf of Cassidy Talley, people often ask me, how do you get such a great player like Cassidy Talley? She's very well known in our conference, and they ask me that. And the truth is that she found us, she chose us, and she chose Delta State. Many people don't know, but Cassidy comes from a long line of Delta State graduates, so I just really believe that she was meant to wear the green and white, and we're very proud she chose to do that with us, and thankful that I got to be a part of that. I always consider it a privilege when I get to talk about our program, when I get to talk about our players, and especially those who make your job easier. Cassidy was truly one of those players. She's a young woman of upstanding character and ambition and integrity. As a player, she worked very hard. She worked very extra to be a great contributor on the softball field. This led her to many, many personal and team successes. She worked hard in the classroom. She graduated early. This led her to securing a teaching job in the Mississippi Delta in Cleveland before her eligibility even expired. She worked hard to be an outstanding citizen of our community and very well recognized and well known in our community. Her commitment to this service, I just know, will serve her well throughout her life and throughout her career as an educator. Her career as a student athlete, in my opinion, is likely one with no regrets. She did everything.
Determination that got me to where I am today. I could not have achieved what I have without the support and encouragement of my parents, family, and friends who have stood by me through this journey. I want to give a special shout out to my stepdad who is watching from offshore tonight. Thanks for being my biggest fan and pushing me to my limits. I wish you could be here. I also want to thank Delta State President and newly elected GSC President Bill LaForge and Miss Nancy, DSU Athletic Director Ronnie Myers, Faculty Athletic Rep Cooper Johnson, Associate Athletic Director Dana George, and the rest of the Athletic Department and media. Head Coach Casey Charles for everything you do, Assistant David Martinez that has been with me countless hours helping me with hidden, and the rest of the coaching staff and my teammates. And last but not least, I want to thank the Commissioner Matt Wilson and all the GSC faculty and staff for all that you do. Thank you.
Our next top 10 winner to come to the stage is going to be from the University of West Alabama, Mitch Holgate. I'm going to invite Director of Athletics from UWA, Stan Williamson, to come up and tell you a little bit about Mitch.
First of all, congratulations to all the honorees. It's quite a special honor, and you're all deserving, so congratulations to all of you. I apologize. Coach Gary Rundles wanted to be here tonight, but he has a serious illness in his family that he needed to be with his family tonight. So you have me as a poor replacement for a 900-plus win coach, so I'll try to do him justice. But Mitch Holgate is quite a young man, and I have a kinship with Mitch. He may not feel this way, but I do, because we came to the University of West Alabama about the same time. Mitch redshirted his freshman year and then went on to do outstanding things as a baseball player. He was three-time Gulf South Conference, All Gulf South Conference. He was 2013 Freshman of the Year, 2014 Player of the Year, South Region twice. He's now a two-time Gulf South Conference Top 10 honoree. He was UWA Phi Kappa Phi Emerging Scholar Award winner. He's a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, graduate assistant for the College of Business. He's a member of Who's Who in colleges and universities. And so many of our baseball programs in this conference are outstanding and have outstanding alumni who have gone on to professional careers in baseball and many other things, including some Olympians. So when I say his career numbers stack up with some of those, you'll understand how impressive that is. Mitch is the career leader at UWA with triples with 15. He's third on the career list with games played, at-bats, hits, runs scored, and total bases. Second on career list for doubles and stolen bases, and fourth on the career list with home runs. And also serves as team captain and graduated a year ago and now working on his master's in MBA. I've seen Mitch make a lot of plays, barehanded third baseline, throwing a guy out at first. I've seen Mitch hit a baseball farther than I've ever seen anybody hit him at Tart Field. So he's got all the skills as a great baseball player. And that's outstanding, and many of the honorees tonight have outstanding careers in sport. But it's almost a cliche, but also true, that as good as they are as athletes, they're even better as people. And we've heard that said by many of our honorees this week, not only our Hall of Fame, but our student athletes, but it certainly applies to Mitch. And I'd just like to read you a statement that Coach Rundles wrote for Mitch. As you can tell by each of these accolades, Mitch has been a very valuable asset to the UWA baseball program. But even considering all of these accomplishments, his biggest asset has been his leadership. Mitch is a soft-spoken person, but he is the type of person that people down here listen to, and when he speaks, they listen hard. During his tenure at UWA, Mitch has always represented his university, team, and program in a first-class manner. He is a man of high integrity, character, and someone who will be very successful in life. It's an honor and a privilege to have coached him, and I'm excited to see what God has planned for him in the future. Mitch Holgate.
This is truly an unbelievable honor to be here tonight with everybody. To grace the stage with such an amazing group of athletes. I'm truly honored for that. First of all, I'd like to thank some people. It's kind of a long list, so bear with me here. First of all, Matt Wilson, the commissioner. You know, been with him or known him for a couple of years now. Just a great guy. We're lucky to have him here at the GSC. President Ken Tucker. Thanks for being here. Your leadership at UWA has been phenomenal. We're lucky to have you as well. Stan Williamson and Janet Montgomery, our athletic directors. Just thank you for everything you guys have done for me. It's been an amazing time at UWA, and you guys have just done so much for me. I'm forever grateful to you guys. Mickey Smith, you know, people like you just make playing baseball just fun, you know. Just, you know, our fan base at UWA, although maybe it's a little smaller, you know, they're pretty crazy for us, so I'm very grateful for that. My family, my mom and grandparents were able to make it tonight, so I'm thankful for their safe travels. My girlfriend Scarlett's here as well. Back home, I think my dad, my brother, and sister are probably watching, so what's up, guys? But my story is a little bit different than most people's. I came from Canada to this foreign country to play the sport that I love, baseball, obviously. And I remember when I first came here as a freshman, I was amazed that when I came down here, or I came to UWA, they spoke a different language, or at least that's what I thought. It's something they call their southern accent, I guess. But when I first got there, understanding people was a little hard, but I've mastered that now, so that's something I'm proud of. But another thing, when I was a freshman, I remember the seniors on the team, they told me that, time flies by, and you got to enjoy it while you're here. As a freshman, I definitely didn't really listen to them. I'm like, I got my whole college career ahead of me, so why should I listen to you? But, as the years went on and the years came to an end and all that fun I was having, came to an end, I definitely realized that time does fly and you got to cherish those moments. But along with all the fun that I did have, there was a lot of lessons that I learned, both, from playing baseball and in school, that I'm going to be forever grateful for. And it's because of the GSC and the great institution of University of West Alabama that kind of molded me into the person I am today, and that's something I'm definitely going to be forever grateful for as I move forward. I'm, confident that foundation that I have from these two organizations is going to bring me, into the future and be successful into the future. So, thanks everybody for this awesome evening. I love y'all.
All right, next honoree, I'm going to invite the athletics director from Christian Brothers University, Brian Summers, to come up and accept on behalf of Gabrielle Pilgrim from CBU. Brian?
Mitch, I do want to point out one thing. As someone who's from the North as well, I have tried to indoctrinate myself as a Yankee, but I will give you credit. In 5 years' time, you've picked it up better than I, because you dropped a y'all at the end there. So, want to accept on behalf of Gabrielle Pilgrim. She's not able to be here this evening. She's actually taking a trip to Europe as part of her graduation. So she's exploring Europe through the past couple of weeks after graduating. So she's enjoying her time there. Expresses her sorrow that she's not able to be here, but wanted me to speak on her behalf. Her accolades and all of our student athletes' accolades, they speak for themselves. So I'm not going to belabor the point, but I'm going to point out two things about her. She graduated in 3 years' time with a 4.0 GPA. That speaks for itself. We put together this year a new program recognizing our student-athlete academic achievements. And so what we did was we recognized the graduating senior student-athlete, male and female, who had the highest graduating GPA. And a 4.0 was pretty easy to be able to honor her with that. So that's something she's certainly very proud of, and I'm very proud of that. Our first honoree on the women's side was a 4.0 who happened to graduate in 3 years' time. Part of that 3 years' time as well, though, is his coach knew that was coming. He had had the conversation with her in the fall, knew that she was going to be on track to graduate, and had that oh no moment edited for the group. The oh no moment of, I now have to replace both my center backs next year, not just one of them. But it was a nice problem for him to have someone who was a two-time All-Region honoree and someone who helped lead his student athletes and be an example for what he's trying to do with his program and what we're trying to do at CBU. The other thing I do want to point out is having young children. I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. One of the nice things about working in college athletics is we've got a ready-made group of babysitters. Gabby's actually one of our babysitters. One of the things that certainly I measure as a dad when I come home is standard fare for kids with a babysitter is mac and cheese. And it's what college kids can make, so it's easy enough. But the test is the ones who put the extras away in Tupperware and clean the pot. She's one of those kids. So thank you on her behalf, and thank you to the GSC. Appreciate it.
So I've got a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and Brian's wife and my wife were sharing war stories, I believe, out in the lobby during the reception. So I have a slightly different expectation of my babysitters. If I come home and either kid's still awake, no pay. That's all. So they all know when they come to my house, if anybody's not in bed, fully asleep, no pay. So we keep it real straightforward at our house there. So next up, though, let me invite head coach Lenny Acuff from Alabama Huntsville up to tell you a little bit about his point guard, Greg Gardner.
It's an honor to be here. I've been at Huntsville 19 years and coached against a lot of guys in the room and know a lot of people in the room. And I really want to echo what was said earlier. We're really proud of what's happened to our league. To see it, really come back from the brink almost of extinction to where we are now is really something that I take a great deal of pride in. Congratulations to everyone here, all the athletes that are represented. And I was sharing today, I drove down, I left camp, which sometimes is not a lot of fun, to come to this beautiful place, and I'm thinking about stories about Greg. And I'm glad I get a chance to tell his story very briefly. Greg is from Indianapolis, and 4 years ago this Sunday, Greg came to our elite camp. And I'd heard about Greg from a friend of mine who told me about this kid. His dad's the vice president at Butler, and Brad Stevens is a coach at Butler, and I was on the committee with Brad, and he tells me about this kid that he thinks really's got something special to him. And I think everyone that's gotten up and spoken tonight, there's something different about the young men and young women that are standing up here today. There's something different. And I spent 30 minutes with his dad and Greg, and it was different. It was different. And that's what you look for in the kids. And the kids that are standing up here tonight, they have those qualities. In our program, we have 6 core values. Are you selfless? Are you thankful? Are you humble? Are you driven? Are you committed? Or are you responsible? He's every one of those. He's every single one of those. We've had the fortune of having some really good players the last few years. And some of them have got these awards, but I don't think I've ever been around anybody with a competitive character, the substance, the resiliency, and like Coach said, the toughness of Greg Gardner. He followed maybe one of the best players to ever play in the Gulf South Conference. We've been to back-to-back Elite Eights with unbelievable expectations. The second game, he's our point guard. We win a game in the preseason NIT, and we beat North Texas. We went to 3 NCAA tournaments, won the conference 3 times, played in 2 Sweet 16s, and he was at the core of that. And we're very fortunate. We have a great following in Huntsville. We have a great administration, great people lead our program. And I can't tell you how many people since basketball season's ended this year saying, gosh, I'm going to miss watching Greg Gardner play basketball. I think as a coach, and the longer you coach, the games aren't what you remember. It's the practice. I'm going to miss going to practice every day and getting to coach Greg. Great family, unbelievable parents, great athletic background, but most importantly, a great future. Greg Gardner. Greg.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those words, Coach. It means a lot, as it does to be here tonight with all these excellent athletes. Honestly, I keep looking at all these accomplishments of everybody in the program, and I can't stack up with the rest of these people. It's unbelievable to be here tonight with everybody. I just want to thank a few people to start out. Commissioner Wilson. I always look forward to going to GSC events because I always know they're going to be so well run, and you're at the core of that, and I really appreciate everything you did for me and for our team throughout the years. I really appreciate it. UH, going there was the best decision of my entire life, and a few people at the core of that were Dr. Brophy. I remember sitting in his office on my visit like it was yesterday. The years really do fly by, and I just want to thank you for everything. Our senior women's administrator, Laura Tobe, thank you for everything. We hosted the regional this year, and she did a great job with that, and I can't thank you enough for that. It's one of the best memories of my entire life. And then Dr. Altenkirk, the West Florida president said that not all presidents truly understand athletics, and I believe that you truly do, and you truly back us, and I really, really appreciate that. Obviously, Coach Acuff, it was an honor and a privilege to have played for you the last 4 years. I'm very sad that it's over, but I'm glad that I got to experience it. Your ability to let me be myself and really trust me led to all of this success, and I could not have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without all my teammates as well. 15, 20 of my new best friends, my brothers. I'm in a family with 4 sisters, so I've never had a brother, but I've got about 20 new brothers now, and I couldn't be more thankful for that. And then obviously my family, my dad and my 4 sisters are watching out there, so I love you guys. Thank you for all your support. And my mom, who came with me tonight, I just love you so much, and just want to thank you for everything you did for me. This was an awesome event, and I couldn't be more honored to be a part of it. And it's been a great way to cap off a GSC career, so thank you very much.
All right, to tell us a little bit more about our next honoree, as a coach has been up here a lot the last several years, but I'm going to ask Coach Thomas Macera from Valdosta State to come tell us a little bit about Caitlin Calhoun. Coach Macera.
Sorry, I'm kind of blind as a bat, and I'm not really good at this. This is not my forte. Some of y'all have been
Caitlin, I think you did a great job there. There's a lot of people in this room that would be much more terrified of the classroom of 8-year-olds than they would standing up here. So we commend you for working with those kids, that's for sure. All right, so I guess we got a little suspense out of the way for our women for some of the heavy hardware, so it's time to do that as well for our men's. I'm going to invite head coach Mark Brew.
Actually, I don't have a piece of paper or note cards or anything because I just kind of told my mom I was going to wing it. So just bear with me. No, actually, I'd like to thank my mom and my dad and my grandparents. Just all the support they've given me. Actually, my first year out of high school, I didn't get recruited to play anywhere. And I went to the University of Tennessee as just a student and really just didn't have the drive that I had always had playing sports. And so I went and walked on in junior college, and that's really the work ethic that my parents had growing up that they instilled in me really helped me to become what I am today. My grandparents, like I said, the same thing. And I think really I speak for myself, and I think it would be fair to speak for every other student athlete in the room when I say that we're a reflection of how we were raised, of the values that were instilled in us by the people we surround ourselves with. And so I want to commend the other student athletes for putting yourself in a position where you can be successful. You surround yourself with the right people, I'm sure, and you work hard, clearly. And so I just want to commend you all for that. And I just want to thank everyone who has supported me, Coach Brew, Coach Carpenter, Lee's, really everyone at Lee. It's a great place. It was a great place to spend 2 years. Loved the business department. And sometimes I get into self-debate because I really enjoy the business side of school, whether, what's going to happen with the draft and everything else. And I'm just so thankful that I was able to finish school. And, if the draft doesn't work out, then I'll just fall back on my degree. It's not a bad backup plan. But thank you all for being here and for the great round of applause and everything. Thank you.
Well, now we've come to our final two awards of the evening, where we get to recognize our 2015-16 Commissioner's Trophy Award winners. First up, I'd like to invite the head coach at University of West Florida Volleyball, Melissa Walters, up to talk a little bit about Autumn Dunn. So, Coach.
Matt, I just want to echo what everybody said tonight. Wow, what an evening. I have been looking forward to this for days and weeks, and I just I know what it takes to put together an event like this, and I want to thank you and the entire conference office for doing this. It is a privilege and honor to stand before you, not just as a coach, but as a humbled coach who has this great opportunity to get to talk about one of my all-time favorite players. And I say that loosely because as coaches, we're not supposed to have favorites. I've got news for you. We do. And we do because the favorites are the ones that choose to be your favorites because they have great character. They do the right things. They have loyalty to your program. They trust you and they respect you and they would do anything for you. And when I think of all those words combined, if you looked them up in a dictionary, Autumn's picture would be next to them. So I just want to take a few minutes tonight and share her story with you because it's a good one. I recruited Autumn for a couple of years, and I got to the point where it was time for her to make a decision, and I still will never forget. It's like one of those things, like, Pensacola is wonderful, but we all know where we were when Hurricane Ivan hit. So I know exactly where I was when I got that phone call from Autumn. I remember looking at my phone, and I thought to myself, great, she's going to tell me no. We were going up against one of our regional opponents. It was us and them, and I will not say their name. Can't give credit where credit isn't due. So I looked at my phone. I thought, great, she's going to tell me no. So I pick up the phone. I still remember her saying, Coach, I want to come to West Florida. I want to play for you. And I think there was silence. I don't know if you remember this, Autumn, but I remember there was, and she was like, hello? And I said, hello? And she said, Coach, did you hear me? I want to come play for you now. And there was just this delay. And I think because I knew how special she was, and I knew what she was going to do for our program, and I think deep down I knew what we were going to get to do together, and that was super exciting for me. And it was a big deal because she is from 7 hours away, and that might not seem like a big deal, but it's a big deal. I mean, her mom was sweet enough to come up with her today to be here for this, and that drive probably reminded you guys of how many times you've done it, and I'm still glad you did it. But the first couple of years coaching Autumn was really an eye-opening experience for me just to get to watch her play every day, and it challenged me as a coach. I remember going back to my office thinking, I have to get better. I have to get better. She's on a level, she's on a volleyball IQ, on a skill level where I'm going to have to get better to be good for her. I don't know another player that I've had that gut instinct that I needed to go home and start doing my homework so that I could be good for her. So her first 2 years, I don't think she ever came off the floor, and she was just spectacular. And she won the hearts of a lot of people. And her junior year, she had an unfortunate ankle injury. And it lasted a long time. It was the first time she'd ever rolled her ankle, and if you guys know volleyball, it's a very agile sport. And the cutting, all the things that are involved in our sport are pretty intense. So after 6 weeks, we were hosting the conference championship, and we were playing West Georgia, and they had beaten us once that year. And I told Autumn before the game, she was not at 100%, I think she was maybe 60%. And I told her, I said, if at some point we run low on subs, I'm gonna put you in. And her eyes got real big, and she just loves to compete. And so we hit that situation in the first set, and it was back and forth and back and forth. And I called her name, and she comes running up the sidelines, and I'm not kidding you. It's like something straight out of a movie. She got a standing ovation. Like everyone in the gym just stood up because they had learned to love her, not just for what she did on the court, but for who she was as a person. And I remember thinking to myself, she hasn't scored a point yet. Why are you standing up? But I understood, because if you get a chance to ever talk with her, she has this humble way about her. She has this genuine interest in other people, and you fall in love with her from the second that you meet her. Our boosters fell in love with her. Every camp and clinic kid wanted to be her. We've had recruits that have signed with us just because they wanted to play with her. She is an incredible person, an incredible volleyball player, and I have been so honored to be able to not just coach her for 4 years, but I had an opportunity to coach her for 5. She had an unfortunate situation happen in what should have been her senior year. We were running a practice, a drill, and she went down and she ended up breaking her wrist. This was after 2 weeks. So you know, all you athletes in the room, you know what it's like to get ready for your senior year. And then all of a sudden we're 2 weeks in, and she can't play. She has to have surgery on her wrist. And she's so far ahead academically that I thought there's no way she's going to play her last year out. And we wrestled with that together. And she did end up deciding to play her senior year out, which was incredible. We went to Europe together as a team. I got to see Europe through her eyes. I got to see her get a second chance at something that she wasn't sure that she was supposed to have. Her career and her accolades are incredible. Far surpassing that, who she is as a person is somebody that I will forever be indebted to for what she has brought to not just my life, but to the UWF volleyball program. I don't know it without her. And I did write a little something that now I need to read. I've laughed with her, I've cried with her, I've prayed with her, I've oozed with pride for her and been amazed by her. There's a respect between us that I know will turn into a lifelong friendship. Autumn Dine has taught me the true meaning of the phrase, the power of one. One word, one encounter, one play, one team, one decision, and one God. Because of Autumn, I stand before you today a better coach, a better person, a better colleague, a better friend, family member, and a better Christian. I can't wait to see what God has in store for her. My favorite player to watch play the game of volleyball with a level of passion her dad and I know he's watching, we call it reckless abandonment. I love you, Autumn. Congratulations.
Well, I did not deserve that, but thank you. First of all, just congratulations to all the top 10 athletes here. It's just super humbling to just be in this room with all these amazing athletes. Obviously, your coaches speak so highly of you, and you've done so much for your programs, and it's just an honor to be here and just be able to meet you guys and learn more about you. I just want to talk a little bit about what UWF volleyball has done for me. It's had such an incredible impact on my life. It taught me how to work through adversity and to be the kind of leader that the people around me need me to be, and not necessarily the kind that I want to be. And it taught me how to never settle for anything less than the best. If someone told me that my senior year in high school that I would be right here, right now, I wouldn't have believed them. The growth and the leadership and the responsibility that I learned from being a part of the UWF program and just from playing the competition in the GSC conference inspired me to strive to succeed in everything I do, and now I'm headed for my doctorate in the fall, and which I might not have ever done without the opportunities that my school and this conference has given me. I believe that God placed me in Pensacola for a specific purpose, and I thoroughly enjoyed everything I got out of the last 5 years. I want to thank my coach for taking the chance on me recruiting-wise, and just for constantly just pushing me to be a better athlete, a better leader, and a better Christ follower. Just everything has been so amazing. I want to thank my athletic director for just supporting me through everything, and just UWF is not just a program for the athletes. Like, once I finished with my undergraduate and I was in my senior year, but I had an extra year because of my broken hand, they helped me get my master's, and then even after that, even when I was done playing volleyball, they helped me work to apply to different schools for my doctorate, and it's just been just a huge blessing to be with people who are just constantly supporting me all the time, and just wanting the best for me. And just for the president, Judy Benz, for just having such a heart for the athletic program. It's so nice to always have you out there supporting and just being there for us, and just constantly having you behind us. And the donors and just every part of the UWF staff is just such a huge blessing in my life, and a huge blessing these past 5 years. It's just been really amazing. The GSC for giving me this amazing opportunity to play in such an incredible conference. I just loved every minute of it, and gosh, I'm going to miss it so much. I already do. And just a chance to be here tonight and to be up here speaking. And to my parents, who constantly cheered me on and just were there for me no matter what. And then to my teammates who are so awesome, and because a player is only good as the team that backs them up, and they're just amazing, and they made the last 5 years the best 5 years of my life. And I'm just so humbled and so blessed to be here, and just thank you WF, thank GSC just for everything you've done, and just for this incredible opportunity. And it's I'm just so thankful to meet you all, and just happy to be here.
All right, and this year's recipient of the men's commissioner's trophy is Luke Wingo of the University of North Alabama, and I'm going to invite head coach Bobby Wallace up to tell you a little bit about Luke and introduce him.
I came in the Gulf South Conference in 1988, and been in it 19 of those years since then. And I also want to agree with everybody about the conference and how strong it is and how good it is. And but I will tell you this: it was a lot more fun coaching it when it wasn't so good. And but we got to coach against each other, and that's good. Luke. 5 years ago, I was sitting down in Gulf Shores, right down the beach here, retired, and had been living there for a year, and the UNA job came open. And, it just, I had people call me, and I called some people, and I want to go back. I want to go back for a few reasons. I had an agenda. One thing was that the coach before me did things different than what I believe in, and there's nothing wrong with that. He brought in a lot of transfers, so I knew if I changed the philosophy, I would have to go through some tough years. And because I'd been there 10 years before, and we had some success, I felt like maybe they'll have a little patience with me. So I took the job, and first year I was there in the spring, we had to recruit 42 freshmen to make out a team. We couldn't even have a spring training because we only had 4 offensive linemen on the team for spring training, but we converted a quarterback to offensive line, which that's a good conversion, and bless his heart. And so anyway, we recruited those 42 freshmen. And the next year, we went 5-5. Well, one of those freshmen, obviously, was Luke Wingo. So his freshman year, he gets thrown in the fire about late in the season. And we go 5-5. And then the next 3 years, we went to share the conference championship. Now, my philosophy is that you win with three things. You win with, number one, players. We all know that, and that's why we're congratulating all these players. Players win games. Second thing, you have to have sound coaching. And the third thing is you have to have intangibles. Now, I promise you, every one of them is equally as important. A lot of people think you can just win with talent. A lot of people think that they can coach to winning. A lot of people don't realize that if you don't have that player intangibles, player-coach relationships, players' relationships with each other, discipline, work ethic, all those things that you don't see. And so we recruited all these freshmen. Luke got thrown in the fire. He is the epitome of intangibles. Now, you can see his records and all that, but that's not really what matters. What matters is what he did to the team off the field, the things he could do under the pressure. We were a pretty good team one of those 3 years. The other 2 years, I won't say we were okay, but we want to share the conference championship because how many times he brought us back in the last 2 minutes of the game to put us in a position to kick a 52-yard field goal to win a game, to drive down the field to score with seconds left on the clock to win a game. Against great teams. And, to me, those intangibles is why he's so deserving of this award. He's a great athlete, no doubt, but he has so much about him that I admire and appreciate. Now, I'm going to do something a little different, and Matt, you might not ever invite me back.
I'll make note.
But 20 years ago, I had another quarterback, very similar. And last night he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And ironically, these last 3 years, because he won 3 in a row too, he coached Luke. And I'd be wrong if I didn't ask Cody to come up here and say a word too. So Cody, come on up.
Well, he just sprung that on me while we were eating. And those who were here last night, no, I didn't prepare anything last night, and that was easy. But this was not so easy because he said say one thing. I can't just say one thing, but go back to what Coach Acuff was talking about, when somebody's special. And we were recruiting, Coach Wallace told that story, we were recruiting. We got put in there middle of January, and we tried to sign 42 guys. And we run across Luke, and we immediately said, that's the guy. That's the guy we got to have to get this thing going the way we want it going. And anyway, we were able to get him, but I recruited him over the phone. Never saw him in person. Never went down to Tuscaloosa to see him. Just recruited him over the phone. And I think when he came on his visit, he was coming from Delta State, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a room full of people because we signed 42, so we brought more than that in. And we've got those guys in the room at the hotel, and Luke, I don't know who anybody is. We've kind of done all this by phone. And
Top 10 folks up here at the backdrop, if I can.